Listen, not casually. Not the way you've listened to every other message that passed through your life without changing a thing. I mean, really, listen. Because the words you're about to hear will either break the pattern you've been trapped in, or expose it so clearly you can never pretend you didn't see it again. You keep telling yourself you're stuck, but you're not stuck. You're repeating. You're repeating the same choices, the same distractions, the same avoidance, the same fears, the same stories you've rehearsed so many times you've started mistaking them for facts. You're not confused. You're avoiding responsibility. You know exactly what's holding you back. You just don't want to confront it. And that's the truth. You don't need motivation. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need another quote saved to your phone. What you need is honesty, the kind that stings, the kind that exposes you, the kind that forces you to look at your life without the filter of excuses you've been hiding behind. So let's take the filter off. Your life isn't stuck because life is unfair. Your life is stuck because you keep choosing what hurts you and calling it fate. You keep returning to the same habits that drain you. You keep entertaining the same people who disrespect you. You keep listening to the fears you should have stopped believing years ago. And you keep calling all of this circumstance instead of what it is. Choice. Here's the part you'll deny at first, but eventually accept as the only truth that matters. You created the life you have right now. With your patterns. With your discipline, or lack of it. With your standards, or lack of them. With the things you tolerated because tolerating was easier than changing. You're not behind because you're unlucky. You're behind because you've been indecisive. You've been inconsistent. You've been waiting for a moment that feels perfect, and deep down you know it. You've wasted time. But here's the thing most people never understand, and the thing that can save you if you finally grasp it. The gap between where you are and where you want to be. Smaller than you think. But it demands a version of you that you've been avoiding becoming. You want to hear the hardest truth of all. You've lived so long with your limitations that you've started treating them like identity. You stopped trying long before life got difficult. You learned to cope instead of correct. You learned to numb instead of grow. You learned to accept instead of expect. And now you're tired. Tired of feeling behind. Tired of pretending you're okay with a life that doesn't reflect your potential. Tired of watching other people pass you. Not because they're better, but because they started. While you kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Let me say this clearly. You are out of tomorrows. You've used up enough of them already. If you don't act today, your next 6 months will look exactly like your last 6. And you know exactly what that means. Nothing changes unless you do. You keep waiting for clarity. But clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from movement. And the reason you don't know what to do with your life is because you haven't done enough to find out. You want purpose without participation. You want identity without effort. You want confidence without action. It doesn't work that way. Confidence is built by moving before you feel ready. Identity is built by doing what your future requires, not what your past prefers. And purpose is built by experiences you keep avoiding because they're uncomfortable. You've mistaken discomfort for danger. You think fear is a stop sign. You think uncertainty means wait, when in reality, uncertainty is the birthplace of the life you keep saying you want. Let's talk about the habits you've let rule your life. You say you want to quit, but you don't. You say you want to change, but you don't. You say you want discipline, but you don't practice it. Why? Because your habits reward you. That's the truth. Your bad habits give you comfort, escape, validation, distraction. You don't keep them because they're good for you. You keep them because they give you the easiest path to feeling less miserable in the moment. But the comfort you choose today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow, and you know it. You also know exactly which habits are killing your potential. But you tell yourself you'll deal with them later. Here's the problem. Later is a lie. Later becomes never. Later becomes years. Later becomes the life you didn't want, but built anyway. So let me ask you directly. How much longer are you willing to sabotage yourself? How much longer will you tolerate the version of you that plays small? How much longer will you let fear dictate your choices? How much longer will you let your potential rot under the weight of excuses that no longer even sound convincing? You know what's holding you back. It's not your job. It's not your circumstances. It's not your past. It's not other people. It's you, your patterns, your hesitation, your addiction to avoiding the hard things. And until you tell the truth about that, you will be stuck. Now let's talk about identity, because this is where the real transformation begins. You say you feel lost, but you're not lost. You're buried under a life that doesn't belong to you. You're crowded with expectations, distractions, comparisons. You re-suffocating under the pressure to be everything except the one thing you were meant to be, yourself. You don't know who you are because you haven't removed who you not. Identity isn't found, it's uncovered. And the only way to uncover it is to eliminate everything that drains you, dilutes you, or distracts you. You don't need to find yourself. You need to subtract the noise. The wrong people, the wrong habits, the wrong commitments, the wrong environment, the wrong storyline you've been telling yourself for years. When you stop carrying what isn't yours, what is yours finally becomes clear. Now, let's shift to something most people avoid: vision. You can't build a future you can't see. And right now, the only future you visualize is the one you fear. The future where nothing changes. The future where the pain repeats. The future where your potential dies quietly because you were too afraid to disturb your comfort. So let's change the picture. Imagine waking up 6 months from now with momentum instead of excuses. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing pride instead of disappointment. Imagine living a life where your habits match your goals, not your insecurities. Imagine becoming someone your future self respects, not someone your past self would pity. That life is real, but only if you stop playing small. Only if you stop negotiating with your potential. Only if you stop bargaining with your future for the sake of present comfort. You want to know the truth. Your life can change fast, shockingly fast, but only when you stop lying to yourself about why it hasn't already. You've been waiting for motivation. You need discipline. You've been waiting for clarity. You need movement. You've been waiting for confidence. You need action. You've been waiting for the right time. You need to understand that now is the only time you will ever have. The version of you that will change your life is already inside you, but you keep choosing the version that makes your life easier instead of better. Enough. You've wasted enough potential. You've delayed enough dreams. You've survived long enough. It's time to live. Not next week. Not tomorrow. Now, because 6 months from now, you will meet the result of this moment. And I want you to meet someone you're proud of, not someone still explaining why they didn't change when they had the chance. You know what you need to do? You've always known. Stop pretending you don't. Make the move. Do it now. Your future is waiting.